Hey there, everybody. Happy Wednesday to you. Happy hump day, wherever you may be. Hope you're doing well. This is Earl Bryant coming at you from the sunny suburbs of the NYC, Long Island, Strong Island, New York, and it's time once again for Pearls from Earl. This pearl is dealing with something that's very important to a lot of us. It's called mindset. As I like to say, get your mind right, and then get your grind right. That's today's pearl. Get your mind right, get your grind right. Now let's define our terms. I found a very interesting definition in the dictionary for mindset, and it comes from across the pond. Great Britain, the land of Big Ben. In their terms, mindset is defined as follows: the ideas and attitudes with which a person approaches a situation, especially when these are seen as being difficult to alter. I found some other very good information that lines up with that definition. Dr. Viktor Frankl, the author of the book Man's Search for Meaning and a World War II concentration camp survivor, wrote this: "The last of the great human freedoms is to choose one's response in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way." A more contemporary leader of today, Tony Robbins, said that failure is not due to a lack of resources, but a lack of resourcefulness. Jim Rohn, who was Tony Robbins' mentor, said, "If you don't like your life, change it. You're not a tree." One of the best examples of mindset that I could think of came from a 1950s sitcom called The Honeymooners, which is still in syndication today and can be seen on a lot of different channels. And this series starred Jackie Gleason as Ralph Cramden, the main character, and Audrey Meadows as his wife, Alice. They lived in very humble surroundings in an apartment in Brooklyn. And Ralph was a bus driver in the New York City bus system. And in fact, if you go to the Port Authority today, there's a statue of the character Ralph Cramden within that area. So you get to see what Ralph looked like. Well, as I said, they lived in very humble surroundings, and Ralph wanted a better life for himself, and he always talked about what it would be like to live in a better situation. And to him, the ideal living would be Park Avenue in Manhattan. Now, for a lot of people in the New York area, only the top of the top, the creme de la creme, live in Manhattan, and especially around Park Avenue, Central Park West, places like that. And in one particular episode of the show, Ralph was talking to Alice about how excited he was to meet one of the big wigs at the bus company where he worked. And he was just doing a little daydreaming and bringing Alice in on it. And he said, "One day, baby, we're going to be on Park Avenue." And then he looks around and says, "And you'd be surprised at how different this furniture will look in a Park Avenue apartment." Now it got a few mild laughs, but the point was very clear, and Ralph's attitude was indicative of a lot of people today. They believe that their life will change if their circumstances change first, because they believe that circumstance changes first, and then their mindset will follow. Well, that's kind of like putting the cart in front of the horse, or like a farmer in the springtime looking at his barren field and saying, "If you give me a harvest, in the fall I'll plant some seed." That's basically backwards. Most people who are successful understand that it's the mindset that drives the grind set. The mindset is like the human GPS. It sets your target. It aims you at the target you want to shoot for, and your skill set is what you use to work toward that target. Think of going on a long distance trip where you're headed to a certain destination and you set your GPS, and then you take the physical actions to make that a reality. Well, that's what you really need to do with regard to mindset. The mindset is what comes first, because while the skill set tells you what you can do, it's the mindset that determines what you will do. Okay? Now, keeping that in mind, as I said just for a moment ago, There are people who want more out of life, they want better out of life. But let me ask you a question. Why is it that when certain folks find out that you want more out of life, that you want a better life than what you have right now, they automatically accuse you of being greedy, of being selfish, of being an ingrate? And they say, well, shouldn't you just be happy for what you have? And you wonder why people would give you flack about that. Why they would say you shouldn't just improve yourself and just be okay with your circumstances as they are. Well, I'm going to tell you why. Sorry about that. The way I see it, most people assume that when you say you want to get ahead in life, it means that you want to take something from others so you can get ahead yourself, and that you have to improve your life at someone else's expense. And that is what some like to call a zero-sum game, which means that for you to go up in life, someone else by definition has to go down. And the idea behind that is a belief that there's not enough to go around. It's rooted in fear, it's rooted in lack, it's rooted in scarcity. Because all people think about is taking, taking, taking. And a lot of times, let's be honest, when someone talks to you about you being greedy and you want to take what someone else has, they are not revealing your heart, they're actually talking about their own. Because in their mind and according to their understanding, the only way to get ahead is to make someone else fall back. But like a friend of mine told me recently, you cannot burn brightly by putting out someone else's candle. It doesn't make any sense. And besides that, who says that you can't get ahead by giving more, by becoming more, by working on yourself so that you can serve others? A very wise writer wrote many centuries ago that he that waters others shall be watered also himself. And Zig Ziglar also said this: you can have anything you want in life if you help enough other people get what they want. You see, it's all about the mindset. It's the mindset that drives the skill set. It's what you will do that determines what you actually do, not the other way around. So, if you want more out of life, work on yourself. Work on becoming better. Work on thinking better. Work on feeling better. Work on having better so that you can serve people, not necessarily be served by people. Reach out to others. I mean, how hard is it to give someone a kind word? How hard is it to be courteous to people? How hard is it to be gentle and to show gratitude and to even serve people with a genuine heart of service? It was the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King who said that everybody can be great because anybody can serve. And service is not a derogatory term. That actually is quite an honorable position to take because you do it voluntarily. You serve others with a heart full of gladness, a heart full of love, and a willing heart. And when you bless other people, you'll be blessed in return. And that's true in your personal life as well as in business. You do it with a heart of service. You seek to add value to people, and you seek to solve their problems, and you become more successful as a result. Because what you give out does eventually come back, and you don't have to force it to come back. You can allow it to come back. So at the end of the day, what you want to do more than anything else is work on your mindset. Have a mindset of service and not to be served. Look to bless others and to find a way to make others' lives better, and your life will be better in return. Because it is mindset that leads skill set. Get your mind right and you'll get your grind right. And that is today's Pearl from Earl. I hope you got some value from that, and if you did, please like and subscribe and share this information with people that you believe can benefit from it just as I hope you have. I know people who are teaching me how to do these very things, and if you want to know who they are and how they can help you, click the link on my bio and I'll be happy to pass that information along to you so I can show you how to get your mind right and get your grind right and be a person of greater and greater service. This has been another Pearl from Earl. It's been my honor to share this with you on this beautiful day. And until the next time we gather around for a Pearl from Earl, when I hope to see you right back out there, this is Earl Bryant signing off, saying take care, be well, make it a great 2019, and take care. Bye for now.